It's finally happening. Dragon Ball Sparking goes to 0. Guys, let's check out these numbers here. On the PC, we have all-time low of 2005. Oh, 2,472. And the all-time low of the high is 6,100. So we have dropped a lot if we look at this graph here real quick, right? Look at this. We start up all the way up here at what, 120,000 is the peak, and then we just go down, 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 a straight. It's literally falling off. It's just falling, guys. It's falling immensely and quickly. So let's compare that, okay? Right now, it's ranked 256. It was ranked like top 10, top 20, in the top 50 for a while, and then it dropped. So look at this, Brawlhalla. People wanted me to compare this to other fighting games, right? So we have Brawlhalla here, what's currently on the same day, 150. And how old is this game? Let's check it out. This game was made actually on October 17th, 2017. So it's about 8 years older, right? You know, about 7 years. Let's see here. We got Dragon Ball Xenoverse in the 491 spot. And how old is that game? That game is also quite old. About 8 years. Okay. Now we have Metaphor, which this is why we're making the video, guys. Finally, it happened. Dragon Ball Zero basically finally fell off, okay? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero finally fell off. And in my opinion, it's just dead, it's dying, and it's in free fall, okay? Dragon Ball Zero is in free fall, and that's what's happening, guys. It's literally going to 0. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is it's not too late to do something about it. But it actually might be too late because of how the community reacted to it, which is very negative. Any kind of criticism was seen as hate, and people weren't allowed to critique the game honestly, which I was doing and other people were doing as well. People basically lashed out at us and really disliked these types of videos. But what they don't understand is those types of videos will be the videos that act as antibodies to cure the disease and repair the game, right? As if like you're repairing the body and attacking foreign diseases so we can kind of recalibrate and regroup to actually become healthy again. And that's kind of the issue here, right? Is this game is exactly on the same day it came out, on the 10th, right? So let's look at that. You guys ready for this? Look at this. Here's Brawlhalla at 33, okay? Metaphor at 31. Sparking Zero at 41. Finally, this is why we're making the video. Finally, the games that came out at the same time, Dragon Ball was ahead the entire time. But however long it's been, I guess about 2 months or so, finally, about 2 months, finally, Dragon Ball Zero gets destroyed by Metaphor, which is a far better and superior game. At least in the sense that it was complete. It had a great story to it, right? There was great balance to it. There was also fun ways where the game was in balance, where you could have fun, but to a certain extent, it didn't let you go super crazy with it. And it's also Japanese. It's not a fighting game. It's a Japanese role-playing game. But interestingly enough, we have both of these games. And we even have Farming Simulator. I don't even know what that is, but Farming Simulator is destroying Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Come on, guys. You know, what's next? What's next? We have Final Fantasy 14 online. It's probably in a couple days or a couple weeks. Final Fantasy will also destroy Sparking Zero, and Final Fantasy is a very old game. I think we're talking like 10 years or something like that. Mortal Kombat 1's not far off. Persona 3 Reload. Batman Arkham Knight is in the 72nd spot. This is a 9 to 10 year old game. Okay? A 9 to 10-year-old game right here. And it's about to bump heads with Sparking Zero. Monster Hunter World, same deal. About 7 years old. It's in here too somewhere. While Brawlhalla is getting very cool additions to its game, like Mega Man, and I believe it had Star Wars before that. Sparking is probably just going to have Dragon Ball stuff, right? But we're still looking for Bulma. We're still looking for Chi-Chi. This is the Dragon Ball Sparking graph. Okay? Look at this. This looks like this. Look at the line. All the way to 0. We're going to 0. We're going to 0, right? So right there, that looks like this. So you have two different sources. This is the PlayStation source, and this is the PC source, right? PC source, PlayStation source. Now, let me show you what a metaphor graph looks like. Okay? Look at that. It is going down, but it has these really nice peaks of interest. And what I would say that probably is akin to people sitting down, because in RPG, you want to sit down for at least 1, 2, 3 hours, and you really want to put some time in, and that's what that is. So you're getting a lot of meaningful time, right? Like that. And then versus this. See the difference? Straight to 0. And this, it's going down, but it's very, I would say, healthy and active. Now look at Brawlhalla, the game that is basically destroying Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Look at this. It's slightly going up. If you go from this point to that point, it slightly went up. You draw a line, right? It dips, but then it goes up, 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 up. It's trending up. So there it is, guys. That is a healthy game. I believe Street Fighter is like that too. So Street Fighter is really interesting because it has something super interesting going on here, where there are lows, obviously, when people are not, when people are sleeping. A lot of people are sleeping there, right? 6,700. Street Fighter's low is Dragon Ball's high. Okay? Look at this. Here it is, 5,700. Yeah. Absolutely. Now, this is the super interesting thing about Street Fighter, and this is what happens when you make a good game. Okay, Metaphor ReFantazio is not a fighting game, but it came out at the same time. It is Japanese. Let's compare this Japanese fighting game, right? Well, look at how healthy these peaks and valleys are. Like, these are mountains. Yes, when people are sleeping and resting or working, there is a valley, a very steep and deep valley, but then it shoots up to 26,000 players, 25,000, 24, 26, 27, consistently, guys. Consistently. And look at this. Drops down, never went to 0. Drops down, its 0 is 23,000. Look at this. And then look at this, 69,000. So, very crazy curves going here, very healthy sort of stuff going on here. We have a heartbeat here. We have a pulse. And with Dragon Ball, same thing with Brawlhalla, and with Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, we're going to 0, baby. Now, I don't want this to happen. I want this to be a lot better. I want people to come together. We need a lot of maturity in the community. And that's something that I noticed that the Naruto Storm community lacked a lot of, right? Is maturity, strong leadership, and a coordinated effort to do what's good and best for the game long term and for the fans that play the game. Now, I no longer have this game. I sold it weeks ago. However, in my one stipulation there, or my one criteria is the online flawless or close to flawless? If it isn't, I would even go for like 85%. Right? If it was like 85% flawless and then 15% of the time laggy losses, whatever, that's fine. That's not the end of the road, but it's not like that. So I would like to see this game do well. I thought that this game was going to be the savior of the anime community, the anime fighting game community. Looks like Bleach is probably the next best hope that people have. But what I would like to see is people really should take criticism more seriously. They should, and they did. I think a lot of time on the videos that I made after the first or second video, I would say the next 3 or 4 or 5 Dragon Ball videos that I made were taken extremely seriously. And there's a lot of good comments there. But what will result from that? Are people actually taking that valid and invaluable information to make this better? And, I think it's the casual audience that actually supported this game. And I hear a lot of people talking bad about casuals or people that are not as serious or people that never played this type of game before, like the PlayStation 2 versions of this, the Tenkaichi series and all that. I even heard things like one of the best players in North America that used to play the PlayStation 2 games, he doesn't even play ranked, apparently, in Sparking Zero because it's so bad. So, and he is not lacking for skill, right? He knows pretty much everything or close to everything, and he's in a much better position to win, and he knows that it's a crapshoot, right? So I don't want to see it go to 0, but guys, it's literally going there, if not already there, right? There's going to be a few small groups of people that are keeping it alive, that are going to play it the way that it was originally intended to be, a couch co-op and all that kind of thing. But when you transport in an older game that's 17 years old approximately, right, into a new generation where there is enormous amounts of competition, whether it's first-person shooters or various different forms of fighting games or open world, right? People go crazy for open world. People go crazy for first-person shooters. People go crazy for fighting games more and more. Fighting games has a bigger audience than it's ever had before, right, in conclusion. But if the game is not built properly, if it's not complete, if it's not polished, if they didn't give an honest and good effort, the reality is it's not going to do well over time. Over time, people will vote with their time and their dollar, and they're going to go somewhere else, right? They're going to spend their time somewhere else, whether it's Metaphor, whether it's a 5 to 10-year-old game like Brawlhalla, or even whatever else I mentioned, right? That's what's going to happen. And they say it is what it is, right? And that's how the cookie crumbles. So, people, like, how do we fix this? The community needs to smarten up, mature up, get more mature, be more mature, and do their best to understand that there is a time frame that these developers may actually give you what you want, like penalties to rage quitting, which I believe they may have already done that, or they're working on it. They did it for Naruto Storm Connections, and that's great. There's misconception that people are saying that, how about Storm games? Well, Storm 4, I would say overall, now that we have this data, has done much better. It may not have had the jump off and the initial success that Sparking Zero had, but it also didn't have its anime creator pass away or die, right? I think it's Kishimoto, I believe it is, the creator of Naruto. He's still alive. I bet you that if he passed away before Connections, the same thing, Naruto Storm Connections came out, the same thing would have happened. The thing that almost no one wants to talk about is that the main reason why that this game popped off, like, there's a dual factor. One is it's the next Tenkaichi game, whatever, right? But the other factor, which may even be more of a potent factor and multiplier for that 120,000 people on Steam, is that the creator, Akira Toriyama, passed away. Rest in peace. I love Dragon Ball. I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. I absolutely love it. The only Dragon Ball game I have ever enjoyed is Dragon Ball FighterZ, and there's some like Japanese Super Nintendo game that I played a long time ago or something like that when I was a kid, and it was like it was an RPG kind of open world type thing, kind of like Chrono Trigger, which is another thing that people don't talk about. The new Dragon Quest remake is out. Akira Toriyama created, those characters for Dragon Quest, the design and all that, and also for Chrono Trigger. He created the beautiful art in one of the best and most classic Japanese RPGs of all time. He has touched people's hearts and souls in different ways, not just in Dragon Ball. There's other forms, like in Chrono Trigger, for instance, and Dragon Quest, where there are people that are arguably, because those mediums have a much deeper storytelling, right, than Dragon Ball, there are people that are a lot more, I would say, attached to him or appreciative of him in some capacity because of those games versus these. Like for me, for instance, it's like when I played Chrono Trigger when I was a kid, right? And I played it a couple times after, and it just had such a profound effect on me. And a big part of that was because of Akira Toriyama's artwork, right? And how he created these wonderful and amazing characters. And then, of course, the rest of it has to do with a lot of other people that created that game in terms of the story, in terms of things you could do, in terms of the friendship in that game. And I think that that's something that's beautiful about Dragon Ball is the power of friendship, the impact that friendship has on people's lives, right? You know how they say, you know how it goes, the power of friendship in anime, right? So, guys, it's in a sorry, critical state. That heartbeat and that pulse is about to fizzle out. What will you guys do as a community? Are you going to come together, be mature, and actually try to figure this out? Because, look, creators are saying, massive creators said that this is the greatest anime game of all time. That is the furthest thing from the truth. It is not even close. I don't know what you guys are smoking, but clearly it's not. There's so much copium and delusion going on that people are still in the honeymoon phase. They still have the rose-colored glasses on. But guys, it's time to really figure out, hey, if you do love this game, if you do love Dragon Ball and you love these types of games, if you want the best for these games, right? If you want the best outcome, you need to actually look at the criticism and see how you can improve this thing, right? Like, what do you really need? Like, figure out your top 3, your top 5, your top 10 things. You're not going to get more than that, most likely, right? Well, you might, but I would start with a top 3, top 5, top 10 most crucial things. I hope you have a fantastic day, an amazing day. If not, I hope it gets better for you soon.